There are some people who weren't here yesterday. Please, if you are here, you tell me. I do a simple recap of what we looked at yesterday before I start off today's program. Okay, maybe there is no one. So I think we can start off with today's program, what we are having today. So I have talked to my colleague Derek, and he's going to be sending you a link for those who are doing online. Because I may first reach out to you to give you the softwares for those who are having the PCs. And I've told him to help you out on how to download that link, that software, the QuickBooks software, and also on how to install it. Everything I'm going to be sharing his number. So everything we shall be doing, you shall be doing with the download. For me, my duty right now is just to give you what we are going to be looking at. And today I decided that we shall be starting off directly with our QuickBooks as we had planned before. Because we are having two softwares to use, so I don't want to delay so much. A moment, please. Hmm? Hmm. Accounting, it's a guide. So let's start off with our QuickBooks today. I'm sorry for that. I'll be sharing my screen as we check your names. There's also other friends coming. Today I want us to start off directly. Yeah. Hope you are able to see my screen. So, and it's what we are going to look at today. What we are going to look at today mostly, creating a company into the system. If there is something you don't understand as we are creating this company, please, you ask before I move far. We are going to create a company. So when you open your QuickBooks, when you double click on the software on your desktop or wherever it is stored, it will bring an interface like this, the one that we are seeing right now that I'm sharing. So when it comes to this interface, as you see, for me, I had created more companies. They are here. Most of these are just companies that are created in my software. But at the moment, I want us to create a new company. So what you do, you come to create a new company. When you click there, I wait for it to load. So when you click on create new company, it will bring this. I have the express start. Under the express start, I'm having a detailed start, create, and other options. What we are going to do is called a detailed start, because it's like I'm just starting, the company is just starting to use QuickBooks. It is the first time for this company to use this software. I'm getting the software I told you since you are doing online. For those who are doing physical, they will be able to get it from me tomorrow. Those who are doing online, Derek, my colleague, is going to share a link that you'll use to download that software. And he will also help you on how to install it. So when you come to this point, click on detailed start. When you click on detailed start, this is what it brings. So I'm having here the interview progress. Whatever place, whatever step I move to, this progress bar, it will have to fill with green up to the end. When it fills up the end, when it is all green, then that means you have created your company. So now I'm going to create a company. Here we begin with the company name. What should be our company name? Let me call this company let's call it ABC Limited. ABC Limited. Then you move to the next part where I'm having the legal name. That is the company name. At times, you may be having the company name, but when the legal name is different from the company name. But most of the time, 90% of the companies, their company names are also their legal names. So what I will do, let me just copy this, highlight, you copy, right click and copy. Then it's the same name that I want to appear in the legal name. I paste it here. In case the company you are working for has a tax ID. You also fill it there. Then the street address. Where is this company located? Here in the street address, it's where we put the postal address. Let's say our postal address is p.o.box. Let's say it's the 8765. Then where is it found on at let's say it's found at Sham Towers, that is Makelele Hill Road. Makelele Hill Road. Then here I can also put the building. Towers. So then the city, where is this Towers found or Makelele Hill Road found? In which city? That is Kampala. Then the country, it is in Uganda. So you click on the country. When you look into the list of the countries I'm having here, there's nothing like Uganda. So that means Uganda falls under others. Select others. Then the contact I'm having here, I don't have a state. Then I'm having zip. Zip is my code, like the phone code for Uganda. And that code is 256. So I'll just put 256. 256. Then I'm having the phone. What could be our phone? Let's say our phone is +256. Let's say 789632164. Then let's say our fax is +256. I'm not having a question. This question is just imaginary right now. It is +256 414 36 4664, then 21. So that's our fax. Then email. Then the email, like if your customers or the suppliers want to reach out to you, if they can't reach out to you via the phone or the fax, then those who want to reach out to you via the mail, which email can they send a message to you? Let's say this is a ABC. The mail is ABC Limited. Let's say it's at invest, that is investment, at event.com. Then we are also having the website. Let's say it's www.fbclimited.com. So those are the details at the moment that we are having as our company. Then after that, after filling all that information that has been given to you by the company, tax ID, in case it is given. Now for me, I'm assuming that it is not given to me. Then you can press next. So select your industry. All these companies have an industry where they fall. There are those that are merchandise firms. Most times merchandise firms. There are those that deal in general enterprises like sugar, soap. Those shops, they are merchandise shops. For those, we call them general-based product and service firms. Then there are those that fall under the manufacturing firms. There are those that fall under agriculture. In case your firm is under agriculture, let me say you're working with a certain company that brings in chemicals that can be used by farmers. Then there are those that fall under construction companies. They are different design arts. So you choose according to that company, because this information will always be provided to you by the company owners or your bosses. So at the moment, for me, I will take the general product-based business. We say next. Let's say our company deals in a shop, a certain shop maybe. We are wholesalers and we are dealing in different products. Then how do you organize? How is your company organized? Is it a sole proprietorship? Is it a partnership? Those who did BA, a course unit called BA, Business Administration, even accounting itself, it brings out these organizations. So proprietorship, that means your company is owned by one person. But the fact is, no one will give you a job and he tells you that this company is owned by this and this. So you are not sure whether your company is owned by one person or it is a partnership or it is a corporation. So what you do, you choose either or none, the last one. Then you go to next. Then here we are asked to select the month of your fiscal year. The first month of your fiscal year. When is your fiscal year starting? Like when did you start your business? The month you spend, the month you select. That means if it begins in January, it will end in December. You get? So let's say ours will start in Jan. Then I move to next. There is a password. Whenever you are running this software, you as the administrator, you should have a password. Why? Because you are going to be dealing with transactions which are attached to money. So if you don't have a password, someone can come into your system. If there's any transaction that is in his or her favor, then for you are accountable for that. In case there is a loss that has been made through the software, for you will be accountable for that loss. But for the academic purposes, for me, I'm not going to put a password. So then you place next. Then after here, it's saying create your company file. What it is asking us to do is to save. We are creating the company file. So we are supposed to save this company because at the moment it is not saved. So if I lose battery right now, all what we have entered, right? All that we have just put in will not be able to appear. So we need to save. So you press next. When you press next, it brings you the location where you're supposed to be saving your company. So here, I so much want this file or folder to be on the desktop because it is easier to access it from the desktop. So I'll select desktop. Then under which folder? I don't need any folder at the moment. I'll just save it there. Then the file name, should I leave it as ABC Limited or I can change the company? Then from here, I will leave it because I'm having different companies. So let me leave it as ABC Limited. And this is what we shall be using for all our testing. Then at the end of the day, we shall do a certain number. I'll be setting up a certain number that we shall be doing together in general. Next. Then after pressing save, you wait for it to be creating the company file. It will take a few minutes. Any questions as we wait for it to save? So far, any questions? You can chat a question here.
How did you go to save the?
To save, whenever I'm clicking on next, now at the moment what you're seeing, when it brings this interface here, where it says create your company file, that's where when it brings that, you just click next. Then it will bring the saving center for you. Then there you choose the company. You choose the location where you want to save your file. And then after, you also put in the name that you want to use.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If you know that the company is a solo proprietorship, then you can choose solo proprietorship. But I'm just giving this because most times you don't know, most of the times. Because when someone gives you a job, may fail to tell you that this company is owned by Gerard, or this company is owned by Gerard and the Joram, or this company is owned by a group that it is under Gerard, Joram, Sam, Joseph. No, they may not explain all that to you. They'll only give you what you need to use as an employee. So now it has created that file. Sorry, my network had gone off, but we are back. Okay, so let's wait for our screen to come. Okay, so after saving, this is what will come in next. Customizing QuickBooks for your business. We are going to be setting up a few things that will need to use as a company. So for that point, you just click on next. Then the first question is that will come up. Do you sell services only, products only, or both services and products? Most of the companies that deal in products, remember when we are setting our company, we said it is a general product-based business. But most of the companies that are dealing in products, they also provide services. For example, I may be dealing in cement, but I may also be able to deliver that cement to your site. That means I'm providing the transport service. So here you choose both services and products. Because when you choose only products, you may leave out the service sector. If you choose services only, you may
So
leave
your
out.
screen is showing something else.
What is it?
Your shared screen is showing something else.
Let me see. Okay, sorry. Are we able now to see?
Yes.
Okay. So I was saying that after you saving your file, what will come in first will be, do you sell services only, products only, or both services and products? I have told you that most of the companies deal in both services and products. Let me give you an example of MTN. We know MTN as a service provider, that is via the telecom companies. But MTN is not only providing services only. Do you know that it also provides some products? And do you know some of its products? Maybe let's have a simple chat and see whether we know. Do you know some of MTN's products? MTN is dealing in both services and products. Service, it will give you the telecom service. Then the product, some of its products, it has lines. Then it has the solar. It is selling of solar. That is it called your solar or by your soul? It is called your soul, the solar that it is selling. That means for it is having both services and products, which you thought that it is only having services. So I'm telling you that most of the companies, they'll be having both services and products. It's better for you to go with both services and products. Then you press next. Do you charge sales tax? Yes. Okay, they even sell phones, they even sell MiFi. Those are all products for MTN. Then here we are having, do you charge sales tax? Yes, we do charge sales tax. I told you, as a business, even if you want to start up your own business, always charge the sales tax. It is recommended. Even if it is not recommended, when we go back to the accounting part, if you want to make profit, unless when you are a non-profit making firm, but as long as you want to make profit, make sure that tax is on your customers. It's not on you. There is even a thing that says that the rich don't pay tax. There is a reason why. They don't pay tax just because whenever taxes are imposed on them, for them, they will just transfer the taxes to their customers in terms of the services and the products they sell to them. So they will charge higher prices in order to cover up their taxes. So yes, we charge tax. Then you click on next. The next question is, do you want to create estimates in your QuickBooks? Yes, I want to create estimates. Not always that it's not that I'll always be assured that my customers need this. You estimate, you'll be like, let me say you're dealing in phones, TVs, what? So you'll be like, most of my customers maybe they need more of phones than TVs. So you are able to bring more phones than TVs. You are just estimating and the number that can be brought in. So yes, we create estimates. Then you go to next. Tracking customer orders in QuickBooks. This is the same as tracking your customers. How do you track your customers? Tracking customers. You need to be tracking your customers. Why? Because some of your customers may be taking goods on credit, and you need to know when are they paying back. So in case they are not able to pay back in that period of time, if you didn't take their contacts, you may, if you are not able to take their contacts, you may not be able to get them back. So you need to always track your customers. That's taking their names, locations, like their addresses, where they are located, then their contacts. So then even getting to know which products your customers need most. Through tracking your customers, you are able to know what your customers want. So yes, we track customers. Then you go to next. Using statements in QuickBooks, of course, by the end of the month, by the end of the financial year, I need to know the financial performance of my company. But how can I get to know that? It's through the financial statements. That means I use statements in my business. Then using progress invoicing. Progress invoicing. No, I don't use progress invoicing. Why? And what is progress invoicing? Progress invoicing, let me say you're taking things on credit. I told you most of the times invoices are given out to people who haven't paid or who are taking things on credit. But for me, I'm not using progress invoicing. Why? One, I said I'm dealing in a general product-based business. But the progress invoicing comes in when someone takes something on credit for several times but doesn't pay at the moment. For example, progress invoicing is mostly used by the construction companies. Let me say Ham is setting up another arcade, and his contractors are like, we will need sand. What's it? This amount of sand. Let me say they need 30 Sinotracs of sand. But they realized later that the 30 vehicles they asked for sand were not enough. They go back and get the sand from the supplier without paying, because it is Ham who is supposed to pay later after his arcade is done. So progress invoicing, that means someone will be taking goods on credit for several times without paying, and then the boss comes in later to pay, or he pays at the final stage, or after everything is done. So for us in our business, we shall not be using progress invoicing. So you click, no, we don't use progress invoicing. Then you go to next. managing bills you owe. You want to manage bills you owe. Managing bills that you owe is the same as tracking your suppliers. Knowing which vendor you owe money to, tracking how much money you owe, then reminding when your bills are due. You need, because most of the businesses, you need to track or to manage the bills you owe. Just because most of the businesses, most of them, they run their businesses on credit, most of the companies. It's like I get goods, I sell them, then I take back their money. So I'm supposed to know which vendor is demanding me money, how much is he demanding me, and when is he expecting me to pay back his money. So I also go with that. Yes, I track the bills. Then you move to next. Then tracking inventory in QuickBooks. Do you track inventory? Yes, I highly track the inventory. I highly track my inventory or my stock. I need to know which stock, how much stock am I having? Which materials am I not having at the moment? Which stock is about to get done so that I can bring in more inventory. So with that, QuickBooks can help you get to know, to track your inventory. So you need it so much. You track the inventory. Yes, I track inventory. Then you click on next. Tracking time in QuickBooks. Though it is recommended here, but we are supposed to track time. Customers who take goods on credit, you need to know when they are supposed to pay. If you don't track time, time will, like, if they are supposed to pay back in a month, that month will pass just because you didn't track time, and you may forget that you are supposed to collect your money from the customers. Then even the employees, you need to know, in case you are paying them per hour, you need to know who has worked for which hours. If you are paying them every after a week, you need to know. That is all done by time tracking. Then you click next. Do you have employees? Yes. How many? Yes, I have 2 employees and I'm having some contractors. Contractors, those are people who work for you for a short period of time and they leave. Then yes, I'm having employees, I'm having 2. Maybe you're having more than 2 employees, and then the rest are contractors. You can choose both. If you're having only 2 employees, you can go with that. But for me, I would say I'm having all of them. I'm having both employees and contractors. Then you move to next. Using accounts in QuickBooks, just press next. Select a date to start tracking your finances. Remember, when we are starting, we said that our fiscal month, our fiscal year will start in the month of January. That means I'm beginning with this year. I'm assuming my business started in 1st January 2021. Then you say next. Review income and expense accounts. What you do here, all these that are ticked, these are ledgers or accounts, the different accounts you are supposed to have. All these that are ticked, they are not yours. They are for the software developer, someone who developed this software. Maybe he was testing whether these things will be working out. What you do, untick them. Because if you leave them ticked, you may find out that you are even running accounts that are not supposed to be run by you. So you go on unticking everything.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
I want to communicate with these guys to register their name so I can take attendance.
Communicate to them.
So everyone who is here, kindly go to the chat section, you put in your name and the course you do at campus because your internship, so you got assessment of the attendance. So make sure you put your names there.
Okay, can you please set your communication because maybe some have not gotten you. So after unchecking all, okay. After unchecking all, then you click on next. Then they are telling us, congratulations, you have completed the user setup interview. You have set up the QuickBooks in the if I've told you these things, I've told you these accounts here, they are not your accounts. Now let me say you are dealing in our in an wholesale shop, but the goods you are getting, you are getting them from local manufacturers here. You are getting your soap from Bidiko. You're getting your sugar from Kakira. You're getting your flour from, let me say, Spring Flour. So those are local. Those are local producers. But in these accounts, what if shipping and delivery income was fixed? But remember, you are not shipping anything. You are a local seller. Freight and shipping costs. You get? You are not in anything like shipping. So these accounts are not yours. You have to untick them. You'll be setting up your own account. Then you click on next. Then the congratulations. You just click on go to set up. If you have a question, you chat it here. Let's wait for. You may be asking some questions. Not every company deals in sales. Different companies, according to that, not every company deals in sales. Every different companies fall under different industries. That's what I told you at first when I was still even choosing the industry for my company. I told you there are some that you will find that they are construction companies. There are saloons that fall under almost, is it cosmetics and what industry? So it depends on where your company, in the industry where your company falls. Any other question, please? then you go with that option of 2 employees. You take it to be that you are the second employee. You don't move with all the contractors. You choose, yes, I have employees, then you go with 2 employees. Okay. So after all that, then you come, this interface will appear. You come to start working. So after that, that was all about creating the company and setting up its important information. Then I don't want us to go so fast, but there are some preferences according to the company's policies. There are some preferences we need to set up. So you come to edit after this interface has appeared. You come to edit. Edit, come to the last one where I'm having preferences. Check on the preferences. I'm here. Here I'm having accounting, bills, all these. Depending on the company's policies, you will be setting up these preferences. We are going to set up a few today, then tomorrow, Monday, we shall be setting up more. So let's go to checking. Let's start with the accounting preferences. Under my preferences, don't do anything. Come to company preferences. Yes, I want to use accounting numbers. Then use class tracking of transactions. I can leave out that. Then, what if transactions are automatically assigned journal entry numbers? Then, one, when posting a transaction to retained earnings, if you find them unchecked, please, you check those because they are kind of important. Warning, if transactions are 90 days in the past, that is mainly with the customers. Like, let me say you give out money to your customers, not money, goods on credit, and they are supposed to pay back within 3 months. So those are the 90 days. You can even decide to change that you want to be these transactions to one when the transaction has appeared in a month's time. Then one if transactions are 30 days in the future. Like you are supposed to, let me say there is what we call prepaid accrued income. It's not prepaid, accrued income, where someone pays things in advance. Let me say I'm having a shop and let me get one participant here. And Sam is my customer. And Sam pays for, let me say, is like, on this date, I'll be having a function and I want you to provide me with 100 kilograms of rice. So he pays to me in advance. So what I'm having is accrued. What Sam has done, that was a prepaid. That was a prepayment or a prepaid expense. And to me, as a business, it is an income. You get? So what I do, I'm supposed to send the rice to Sam on the date he has told me. Maybe I'm supposed to send it to him on 1st September. So what I will do, I will say, let the system warn me in 10 days, like in about 10 days, let the system warn me that I'm supposed to be sending that product to Sam. Are we together with that point, up to that point? Saida, I didn't get your question so well. Why I would leave out what? Where I don't understand, please ask the questions. But Saida, I didn't get your question so well. So after that, you can say, okay, that preference has been set. Then I move to the next preference. Let me see the question here maybe. It depends on the company's policies. So depending on the policies of the company, you can either untick them or you can leave them ticked, depending on the policies of the company. Let's see in this, let's see, let me see. Let's see in the sales tax preference. Under company preferences, do you charge sales tax? Yes, but what if I say I don't charge sales tax? That's in case the company doesn't charge sales tax, there is nothing you can do with the interface here. But with the moment you say that the company charges sales tax, this is what will happen. Yes, I charge sales tax. Then add the sales tax item. What do you charge? Is it VAT, value added tax, or here you click there, you say the type of the item. This is the center we shall be using for capturing our items. Sales tax item. What is the name of the sales tax? That is when the company is charging sales tax. Let's say our company charges VAT, value added tax. Description, it is sales tax, or sales tax, or description, you can say that it is chargeable, charged on all chargeable items. Then which rate, the rate of the tax. Let me say we are charging 18%. 18%. And who agents or the vendor that you collect tax for, who is taking the taxes that you're collecting? Let's say it is URA, but I'm not having the vendor in here. I just add a new vendor. So my vendor is URA. The vendor name is the same as the company name. So I will just copy that and paste it here. And that person at the moment is not having anything like opening balance. Then the date. We said that our fiscal year will start on 1st Jan. So I'll go with 1st Jan. That is my opening date. Then I can say, okay. Then you say, okay, that means I've captured the tax. The tax percentage, the person who is supposed to take my tax, what you get. Then your most common sales tax item, VAT, taxable item code. In case the item is taxable, what should it show? It can show taxable, it can show tax, just to mean taxable. Then there is the included, just meaning that it is the item is included under the tax bracket. Then those that are non-taxable, you can just put none, or there is also excluded, just meaning that the item is excluded from the taxable bracket or the taxable group of items. Then when do you owe sales tax? As of invoice date, or is it accrued on accrual basis? Like whenever you check the tax, you take it to URA there and then, or it is on accrued basis, like you keep on, like you take off the percentage from the item, then you keep it somewhere. At the end of the month, in case you are paying to URA monthly, you take the collected taxes there. So I will say that I'll be charging them on accrued basis, and I'll be paying to URA on a monthly basis. Then we say, okay. Then let's do one more preference. Someone has asked me to go to, I repeat what? Adija, what should I repeat? Multiple currencies. Someone has asked me to go to multiple currencies. Let me see. Last part of tax. The last part of tax. Let's go back to sales tax. Yes. The last part. When do you owe sales tax? Is it on accrual basis? Like when you collect the tax on a certain item, you take it to URA there and then, or you keep it in a certain account and you pay later at the end of the month if you are paying monthly, or at the end of 4 months, at the end of 3 months, that is on a quarterly basis, or you are paying annually. So most of the companies, when they charge the sales tax, they keep it until when they are supposed to take those taxes to URA. Some are paying monthly, some are paying half a year after 6 months, some are paying annually, so it depends. Then there is upon receipt of payment, when someone pays you, when someone buys a product and you charge the sales tax, or you take it there and then to URA. That is the question. But most of the companies use accrual basis. So we are done with that. Let's go to multiple currency. The only one we are going to do multiple currency. Then we come to company. Track multiple currencies in the company file. No, I use only one currency. Yes, I use more than one currency. Don't limit yourself to using only one currency, because maybe you're using Ugandan shillings. Someone may pay you in dollars. Will you refuse? So we go with, yes, I use more than one currency. Select the home currency you use in transactions. Here we are having Canadian dollar, euro, Japanese yen, US dollar, but you can view more of them. Remember, we said that we are in Uganda. So I'll be using Ugandan shillings. Maybe most of my transactions are carried out in Ugandan shillings. You make it, after selecting it, you make it active. Then you can say, okay. Your company will now close and reopen with your updated settings. After setting the currency, the company has to first close so that it makes it active. Any question? Because for today we are done. If you have questions, please raise them up. Yeah, you're going to be getting the recording. I've been recording and I'll be sharing the recording to you. And maybe, can help. Maybe the next session I'll be allowing everyone to record that session so that maybe that will be easier for you guys. I'll be allowing everyone to record. Next session, I'll be allowing. Let me see more questions. When you want to have two currencies, let me see. Okay. Again, they beg your pardon. Stop your preferences and I'll be doing a recap for this for what we have started today before we start off again. Do we write all this in the logbook? Whatever you get here, whatever I told you, what you should do with your logbook, the least you you can do. The least I want you to fill in your logbook is 50%. But if you can even make it up to 100%, as long as you put everything that you get from here. Then what if I want to have two currencies? Just the statement that I use more than one currency is enough for you to be using every currency you want. The rest of them, they can be made active from the transactions, depending on someone who has sent you a certain transaction, who has given you a certain amount of money or a certain currency. So how about the link for the software? Derek is going to be sending you the link for the software, but you need something like you need to have a list of 2 GB to download that software. 2 GB, that 2 GB will help you download the QuickBooks software and the Tally. Mr. Gerard, could you please forward the number of the person that is going to help us install? I'm going to be sending it in the group. Do these softwares run on any processor or it has specific ones? They run from you, in case you are having from Celeron. If your computer is Celeron, not Pentium. Pentium, it may fail, but I'm sure most of you are having from Celeron onwards. They run. They run on all processors. Okay. Any other question? I'm going to be sharing that number. I think let me even share it now as more questions arise. Yes, Janita, are you having any questions?
Yes, sir. I was saying I don't think it's a good idea to let us record because some of our networks are on and off. That's
Okay.
why I was suggesting you be able to record for us and then they send us the recordings.
Okay, I'll be sharing the recording. Let me do that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other question? Tomorrow, I'm having a physical session at Ntinda Najim Mall. For those who can make it, they are doing online. For those who can make it, you can turn up and join those who are going to be doing physical in case you have not understood some things here. Don't worry about tomorrow's session. I'm not going to go beyond what we have covered today. By Monday, we are supposed to all be on the same page. And we have one-on-one session today because some people might be behind, especially about the last part. Can you allow it? One-on-one, it can happen. Can happen. Let me see. And let me ask Brian to give me a room on Zoom again. Any other question? Let me share the number. So there it. You have no any other question, then I'm done with the session today. I wish you the best and have a nice weekend.
Thanks. Bye.
Welcome.
Excuse me, when should we expect the person to send us the software?
It's going to send you a link, I'm sure, today. Because I talked to him before I came in, and I asked him to share that link, and he also helps you out on how to install it. He's going to send you the link. It will tell you the version to download and also help you install it today. So he's going to do it today and tomorrow. Sure, even Saturday over the weekend, you can disturb him anytime. So for those who are behind, tell me where those who are being disturbed by the network. Where should I start from?
Thank you. About the preferences,
The preferences. Okay. I've found
both of them,
most of them. Not most of
both
them I've
of
found.
them.
Okay. I've found a few preferences, and the ones that we are going to look at, so that we can be on the same page with our friends on Monday. Let me share my screen. Okay. So the preferences I told you, when setting up these preferences, we are mainly looking at the policies of the company. So to set the preferences, you come to edit, go to preferences, it's the last one. Then I began with the account. I looked at the accounting preferences. I looked at the sales tax, and the multiple currency. So we shall look at only those for today. came late and don't follow up totally. Derek, I will do a full recap. Just make sure that Monday you come in earlier. If you're not able to join me tomorrow on my physical, maybe let me see. But I can't do physical and online at the same time. If you can't join me tomorrow on physical, then on Monday come in a bit earlier. I'll first do a recap of what we looked at today before I start off with another one. So we are under accounting preference. You leave out the my preference part, then you move to company. Move to company preferences. What do we set here? We want to use account numbers. Most of the accounts or the ledgers, they have to have these account numbers. Then I come to automatically assign journal entry numbers when you are capturing the journal. Let the system automatically assign those numbers onto those journals. Then there is date warning. When you give like warn if transactions are started days in the past. I have just set those started days. And I was like, if you give products to your customers on credit and they are supposed to pay back within a month's time, like within 30 days, if they go past 30 days without warning, on the 30th date, the system will send a warning to you that this person hasn't paid. Then there's also one if transactions are dash days in the future. And that I have explained it saying that in case there is someone who pays money for a product in advance and you are supposed to deliver that product in the nearby future, let the system tell you 10 days before the date when you are supposed to deliver those products. You can even set 5 days. That let the system tell me 5 days before the date that I'm supposed to deliver that product. Those are mainly the things that we look at in the accounting preference. Then you can say, okay. Then you go back to edit preference. Yes, please.
Can you please go back? I have a question there.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So here, last time in the chat, I asked you why you left out the use is it class tracking for transactions, and you didn't reply. Why did you leave out that?
I told you these preferences, we just set them according to the company preferences. If you want, in case the policies of the company, if the policies of the company are tracking classes like different transactions that are classified. Maybe you are having wholesale transactions, you are having retail transactions. Then if the policies of the company do that, then you can also check this, and you also check the account where those transactions are supposed to, in case, let me say in case it is selling per name of account, names or items, you can assign a class that, let me say I'm taking wholesale, let me call it accounts, wholesale accounts. Maybe I'm selling each item a specific item. So that class is called items. You get?
Yeah.
These preferences shouldn't disturb you a lot. They depend on the policies of the policies of the company. And in most of the companies, you may find that most of these preferences are not used most of them. Then we didn't even close this date. I think it's one we shall start on next time. Date through which books are closed. We had to set that date. Remember, we said that our business or our fiscal year starts in Jan. That means May, and we said that our fiscal year will start on 1st Jan. That means that our books or financial statements are supposed to close on 31st December. Then you can say, okay, you can leave out the password. Then we say, okay, for that. Then we edit another preference. The second preference was sales tax. Sales tax. Remember, we said when we are setting up our company, we said that we charge sales tax. In case we had said that we don't charge sales tax, it could be like that. That means we couldn't access anything of any of these spaces or boxes where we are supposed to be setting up what we should do with the sales tax. But since we are charging it, can say yes, we charge, and we add the sales tax item. What is the name of the sales tax? We called it VAT. VAT. Then description. We say that charged on all chargeable items. Then which percentage? We say that we shall be charging. We assume to be charging 18%. And then who is our vendor? I've already put the vendor here. It is URA. Then you can say, okay. Save anyway. Okay. I already have VAT. Let me call it VAT 1. Okay. Then that was for the sales tax. And lastly, we looked at the multiple currencies. Multiple currencies. Multiple currencies. Remember, I said that we are using more than one currency. Oh, I saved this, so I can't change it. That means I will need to use another company. For that, we shall use it when we shall see how to handle multiple currencies as we start our new company, because at the moment I can't change it. So any other question on the preferences? Those are the only preferences we looked at, and the rest of them we shall be looking at them on Monday. You're welcome. Welcome, Shiba. You're welcome, Saida. In case there is any question, you can raise it. In case you are trying out a number, that's when you are you have set up you have installed a software and there is a question, don't understand, then you can inbox me. For today, we are done.